Yes! Yes, every now and then, I get one. Me, right here, Chael P, Gilbert Burns, Tyron Woodley. Thank you. Thank you for this. You guys understand how big this fight is? You have to know who Gilbert Burns is, and many of you may not. Gilbert Burns has put together one hell of a win streak. An incredible record, but a streak. He did a lot of those on smaller fight cards. He did a lot of those on the undercards. That's all changed. That has all changed. His last fight was in there against Damian Maia, former two-time #1 contender. Competes with him the whole time, then puts him down and puts him out in a co-main event spot. I would have to think his fight with T. Wood is going to be a main event spot, but even if I'm wrong and that's relegated to a co-main event, that's a meaningful fight. And it also makes a lot of sense as long as you guys know the story behind it. Tyron Woodley's not looking for any easy work. Tyron Woodley's never called out anybody easy, ever, never, hasn't happened. And Gilbert Burns, make no mistake, is not easy. When you get these guys that like to compete, you get these guys are hungry. And as much as Tyron would like to get back to the championship, you got a guy that's never been there before. Matter of fact, you got a guy that's never been in there with a world champion before. As a matter of fact, you got a guy that's never been in a main event before. I mean, that's a very exciting thing. Is that going to be too much pressure? Maybe. Is that going to be a springboard to elevate Gilbert to a new level? Maybe. I'm just sharing with you, when you look at that fight, and I'm sure there's plenty of you going, wait a minute, why isn't Tyron fighting Colby? Or, hey, wait a minute, why isn't Tyron and Leon Edwards, why aren't they finishing that piece of business? If you're saying those kinds of things, and you're not wrong, those are great fights too, but if you're saying those kinds of things, I would just have to speculate. I would have to make an assumption that that's because you're a little in the dark on Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns is the real deal, and he's hungry, and he wants to go out and compete. He's a medalist in World Submission Grappling Championships, but now all of a sudden he's Mr. Handsy, which is very similar to what you would say about Tyron Woodley. Tyron Woodley, a two-time All-American Division I wrestler from Missouri, but how many people has he put down with the hands? They're very similar. Sure, you got the wrestling versus the jiu-jitsu, but both to the highest of levels, and then both of them all of a sudden are finding some power in their hands. They both bury their chin. They both come forward. They both love to compete. This fight makes a lot of sense. I think you guys would agree with me, but I bet I only have 50% of you. I bet I've got as many as 50% of you going, Chael, come on. Gilbert versus Tyron. Yes, Gilbert versus Tyron. If you don't think that's right, you got to go look up Gilbert's record because you're not giving Gilbert his due. And if you don't give Gilbert his due, should Tyron beat him, that means you're not going to give Tyron his due. That's not fair either. This is a big fight. This is the right fight. I'm pumped.